Hi everyone, Rebecca Joel here. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a brief transmission from Source on 9/11. I won't be going into too much detail here as I want to protect myself and my family. If you would like more details and would like to learn more hidden truths, join my membership, Unity, where we deepen our connection to the divine and support each other on our spiritual journey with other like-minded souls. You can learn about ways to work with me at the links in my bio. Please note these statements are alleged. My readings are always spot on, but I've got to say this for my protection, of course. So use your discernment, take what resonates and leave the rest. Be a good neighbor. Please share this video, like, share, subscribe. I am being shadow banned and censored for obvious reasons. Let's go ahead and get started. It was all planned and planted to make Americans scared again, so they would obey, form a line, and bow down to those in charge. They pinned it on them, so they had a villain, a common enemy to blame, so that they would bring together under a common cause, while under the auspices that this gave them greater control over the American public. Things had gotten out of control and too, quote, loose, with no structures to contain people and shuffle them into the appropriate direction. So they needed a stopgap to redirect them, to shuttle them like cattle where they wanted them to go. It was planted in movies ahead of time, so people had a certain disdain for these people, so it was easier to pin it on them when the time came. It was an inside job to control the masses once again. Things had gotten out of hand and people needed to be controlled, measured, and redirected in the appropriate manner with the appropriate means. A scared crowd is an obedient crowd. I hear the public saying in reaction to this, tell us how to serve you so we'll be safe. People are compliant when they believe their safety is in your hands. It was all a major power play to keep things in order once again. So people would obey, struck with fear. They couldn't think straight beyond their own fears and worries. These things feed the system and make them stronger. It is best to unhook from the system so you're not hooked to the board, i.e., media, news, movies, playing by their rules and games. It was all carefully measured and planned in advance to keep people in shock, fear, and denial, because then they can't think clearly to make wise decisions. It's basic psychology. Then they defer to the ones in charge and give up their rights so they feel, quote, safer. They're really not, but that's the illusion/image they portray. The more rights they give up, the more submissive they are to the system. It's a power play to keep them in charge and with the rest not challenging them, taking care of only their basic needs because they're too much in shock to do much of anything else. It was all decided inside the program. They conducted meetings and planned this well in advance. I saw a vision of a boardroom with all men holding up planes and strategizing this event. Did terrorists do this, is what I asked. It was decided within the system. They did it, not anyone from the outside. They did it to manage the system and its people, to keep people in line, in check, to keep them subdued. So they would never think of rebelling from the system if they were, quote, protected and, quote, safe by the upper powers. It would subdue them, keep them in their comfort zone while insidiously trapping them in their fear.